Oh, and I can't help it. I always have to say we're recording because I see it. I just what's going on, man? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome, welcome to Fell Into Phenomenal Podcast. Back at it another again. I am, I guess you could say, a host, Coach T, along with my brother Terrence, co-host extraordinaire, Fell Into Phenomenal graduate himself. You
Yeah,
know, you
I
know.
graduated though.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
I'm not only the client, I'm the player president. Well, okay, when I say graduated, yeah, I say you graduated because we have to learn how to celebrate ourselves. Because I have to be honest,
You
man.
froze up.
So Mondays are very
Yeah,
crazy.
you froze up for a
I
second. You said you gotta be honest. You gotta learn to do what?
Yeah, okay. Well, I wasn't froze up over here, but it's all good. So, am I still frozen?
No, you good.
Okay, so I had to be honest with myself. So Mondays are very fruitful. Uh, I got a plethora of calls and information that is poured into me, and then I also pour into others. So my 6 o'clock call, my extreme execution call, where I learn how to be the coach and facilitate the flight assessment and things like that. We had a call today, and the topic was where's the win, and basically learning to how to identify the win in the midst of the process. So even when sometimes you don't reach the goal, there's still a win to be celebrated if you're intentional and deliberate about what it is that you're doing. Whether the goal is to be self aware, or if it's to create a boundary, or whatever the case may be. But just in that conversation, and then we have little breakout sessions, and they talk about, share a big win, and the steps that you took to achieve that win, and how do you celebrate. And I have to be honest, with all that I've done and still am doing, uh, I struggle with celebrating myself because I still have to build myself up from a level of low self-worth, because of how the weight of being labeled as a felon carries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had a moment, like I got emotional. It's like cause she, before we had the breakout group, she was like, and I know some of y'all gonna act like, oh, I don't celebrate, so don't do that. And I laughed, and she called me out for it. And when we got into the group, it was three of us. So the other ladies went, and they were confident, about their wins, and they shared um, what they had going on. And when it got to me, I was like, okay, well, I can muster up something, and not like muster, like make it up, but I was like pushing, huh?
Like bring it out.
Well, yeah, because I was gonna push it down. I was gonna push it to the side. I was gonna be overly humble, if you will. And it's like, and then with this group that I'm in, I mean, look, this is a group that's associated with ET, the number one motivational speaker. There are people that are achieving some great things, and you can get caught up in comparison and thinking that your wins are not big enough. But that was the kind of conversation. It was about celebrating your wins no matter the size.
Right.
It was learning to celebrate yourself.
Right.
It's like you've done more than most.
Right.
Like, you get caught up in this group and think it's the world. No, this group is a piece,
Right.
and this group is a small piece of people who choose to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, uh, this is the guest asking me for a code. There is no code. Does it ask you for a code when you come in?
Nah. I don't
Okay.
know nothing about no code. I just put my name.
Yeah.
I go down, scroll down, and I enter the studio.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's good stuff though. I struggle with that as well.
Mhm.
Celebrating my wins. I can acknowledge them, and say that I'm in a different space or different place than where I was before in comparison to like what I used to gain from the things in the challenges. Even when it comes to just doing it differently than I did the last time, I like to try to congratulate myself. But like small ceremonies, like you said, or even pats on the back, or just good job and treat yourself to something that you haven't treat yourself from, is a good celebration because it builds that self-esteem. It gives that motivation. It gives you that push to keep going. When I was in the gym and I first started working out, coming from that 260, and I just started seeing weight start shedding off and started seeing other parts of my body and the clothes not being able to fit. It makes you feel like you're doing something, like you're not wasting your time. You know what I mean? So it definitely it keeps you motivated to keep doing what you're doing, and it's just, I mean, it's good to celebrate. It's a process, like you said, it's the journey, and each process has a stage, and each one of them is a win because it's further than where you was yesterday. So by acknowledging yourself, that it builds yourself to that that you are becoming.
Absolutely. But to be, I mean, just to face the fact that it's something that can kind of be there all the time, kind of be nagging in
Yeah.
that sense.
Right.
Like, I wonder if it's just because of our particular situation, or is that something that anybody would deal with? I guess with their experiences in life. I guess with that.
Everybody deals with it. It's just different for every individual. For me, because I'm goal oriented, it's because I am like looking for that end prize. And if I haven't gained that end prize, then it's like, what's there to celebrate? That's for me personally. I can't celebrate until I accomplish what I'm setting out for. And in a sense, like after today's momentum call, it kind of just it shows me the things that I lack in the areas that I lack in. For instance, to differentiate between the distance or the time frame between making goals. When I'm making my 3 goals, I'm thinking like these are goals along that time frame. But here it is, those are long term goals. I never looked at it in that sense. So now I have to reevaluate. That's a win. I I felt proud and excited by that because, like, okay, if I'm missing this mark continuously, then now you're telling me why I'm missing this mark. It's not things that I'm not reaching out for the way that you reach out for what particularly matters right now. So in that sense, I feel that I should celebrate over the fact of the correction that you're like, man, those are long term goals. I need something that's gonna meet the mark in these 12 weeks that you'll be able to see, which is good because then that teaches you how to make realistic.
Exactly. Well, now that's definitely the goal of implementing the 12-week year challenge with the 3 goals.
See, I never.
It's really what we learn about ourselves throughout that process, because
Absolutely.
it's going to take us a couple of tries before we actually start setting 3 goals and then accomplish them at 12 weeks.
Right.
First, we got to get the kinks out of who we are, because that's a short amount of time. That's a big turnaround.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how many, like, people aren't regularly making goals on a 12-week period. They're making it on a 12-year period,
Right.
and 12-month period, and not accomplishing nothing.
Right.
They still think I got time.
Right.
They
I
think,
got
yeah, it
time.
limits your potential.
Right.
Like, when you put things out, it limits your potential. All right, my boy jumped in here, man. So I'm gonna add him to the chat. He looking around like he don't know what's going on, but it's all good. So, before you get started, man, I'm happy to have you on. I know this is not your norm, but we've had many conversations, and I admire your work ethic. I admire the way you take care of your family and love your wife. And we've had great conversations, and I know you have a story to tell. And I just want to get nosy, kind of get in your business a little bit, but also identify lessons like in your life that could be used for the community. You know what I'm saying? For my fellow to phenomenal people. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to y'all Darius Wilkerson, aka Rambo, too funny. Brr, 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 brr.
Yeah, come on.
Follow that boy on the
See,
social media. Introduce you to my brother Terrence. He's my co-host, man. And we just
pleased to meet
rocking and rolling, man.
Pleasure, bro.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. The wife and kids ain't here quiet. I cut everything off.
Oh, look at you. That's what I'm talking about. Man of the house. I ain't mad at you.
I unplug everything in here.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I appreciate you. I appreciate you shutting it down, giving us some time.
Yeah,
So look, man. So how long you been in Houston? I know you're not originally from Houston, man. Where you come from? Cause I heard where you come from. It's pretty rough out there, man. You run
yeah,
away from something?
yeah. I'm originally from Milledgeville, Georgia, and I've been in Houston for 10 years this year in June. In June, so a couple more months, my 10-year Houston anniversary. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's crazy? We was on TV with one of my classmates. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
was, I wasn't surprised she was in there. I was just surprised she was in there with you.
Okay, so for those of y'all who have seen my season of 60 Days In, there's a young lady named Jasmine. Matter of fact, the
Man,
one that came in there on the phone going at it with Lasciva girl,
Yeah.
cussing her out. Yeah, that's who we talking about. And yeah, she is definitely a interesting
yeah,
person.
we we claim her as a classmate. She ain't graduate though. We claim her though.
That's real. That's love. That's how we
We
gotta do our
claim
people
her.
like that
She with
sometimes.
us.
She's still invited. She's still
Yeah.
invited
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the
Understood.
reunion, right? So what was it like out there? And where is it from? Where is it?
Milledgeville, Georgia.
Milledgeville.
It's about an hour south of Atlanta. It's in the midway point of Georgia.
Mhm.
And to be honest, it's blue collar, low income. It's very behind the times. Everybody mama work at the same place. You either worked at the state at the prison, or you worked at Green Manufacturing Plant, the AC plant. And
Sounds
what
like
happened was they shut that AC plant down where they made the ACs at, and the poverty, hit hard. You know, you raising young black men in an environment, and the money ain't rolling in. I got on J's, but he don't. They start making them decisions, and it's really rough. Like it's the top drive-by city in Georgia. Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to grow up in the woods, in the backwoods, in the country, and so I was away from a lot of that. I didn't really have a lot of that, but they always respected me, and they knew that I was a square. I was a country boy. So when I was around, I made sure none of that went off or popped off or whatever, and it was already respect. I tried to be a dope, but I ain't gonna be like I tried to be a thug. They said, "Hey man, nah man, we gonna snitch. You gonna snitch? We gonna have to kill you. We gonna talk to your dad about it. Nah man, we don't want that life for you,
Shit.
man. Go to church, go to school, man, get them grades." So they kicked me out the trap. I couldn't even hang out over there. So, um, you know, me growing up, when I graduated from JUCO, I graduated from Georgia Military College. I had a decision to make. I was 21, turning 22. I said, I know if I stay here, it's gonna go the wrong way. I know I'm gonna end up making some bad decisions. And because I was already, finding myself getting into little fights and stuff like that. So my dad was living here in Katy, Texas, and he called me. He was like, "Hey, you need to apply for Sam Houston. They got a really good business program. Think you'll like it." And so I came out here and I visited, and I said, "Yeah, this is what I need. It's breath of fresh air." Went back to school, got my associates in Georgia. I said, "Now it's time to shake it up one more time," and it's been history ever since.
Man, that's what's up. Okay. Okay, boy came to Houston for the opportunity. Sound like Will Smith story.
Yeah, facts. Exactly, very similar.
Yeah, man. So you said you tried, you know what I'm saying, to get down a little bit, but what was it that kind of like deterred you from not doing that? And like what was a hardship that you had to overcome, even though like you didn't have to have that struggle? Like what's something that you had to overcome that was pretty tough for you?
Yeah, so I was in the you when you raised by a black man, it's a lot of pressure. and it don't get talked about a lot. Now, I'm grateful for being raised by a black man, but it's a lot of pressure to go get it. Right, you can't sit down here. You got to go get it. And was a grown man. I ain't have it, and I was trying to figure out a way to get it because at the time I was like, I ain't got it. And you telling me I'm supposed to be having all this stuff? I go to try to get this job. They paying me $9 an hour. I'm toting furniture. I'm mopping bowling alleys. I'm like, man, this trying to do it y'all way.
Yeah.
Trying to do it the legal way. But man, this little $180 check, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing with that every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you go around the guys, they got the box Chevys on 26s, 24s. I pull up in my little Honda Civic. I don't want to park next to nobody. I park far just so I can walk up. I'm gonna walk up. I ain't gonna ride up. I'm gonna walk up. People think I'm in my girlfriend car every time I pull up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like so. You see that, and people say it all the time. Don't compare yourself and look at what other people got. But it's tough. It's tough, especially when you're in that small, confined area, and that's all they know. You got a nice car with some big rims on it. You got the chains on. You got the J's on. All the women around the city love you. Everybody saying you the man or whatever. You want that. You kind of yearn for that. And what deterred me was I was involved in a drive-by shooting. I was standing outside. I got into it with some guys a while back, and you know, hood in the hood. A lot of people don't talk about it, but hood dudes are really emotional. Like that. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain in the hood. It's a lot of emotion, and when you touch somebody that's with me, when you shoot somebody or beat somebody up that was with me, affiliated to me, that hurt my feelings. And now that I'm hurt, I gotta react. Now I gotta react. And so their reaction was, they pulled up to where we hung out at, pulled up, came down the street, and they started dumping. And my partner next to me, he had a gun. That's why I say everybody a shooter till they get shot at. Cause my boy had a gun. I'm on the ground. They dumping. He freeze up, scared to shoot. Standing still. Just a standing target. And after that point, I was just like, nah. I hear bullets flying past my head. I hear buildings, like pieces of the building coming off. I don't know what they were shooting with, but I was like, nah, man, I don't want their life right here. And so that was
Yeah.
cause they just shooting in the blind. That it ain't no code, it ain't no nothing. They could have hit somebody, grandma. Cause we was at the house, could have hit a kid. And I'm like, nah, I couldn't have my name attached to that. I just seen my name in the headlines. My mama and them, crying and trying to figure out why I'm over there, and all that stuff. And I was like, nah, I gotta. They raised me. They put too much time into raising us the right way for me to go out like that. And so I knew I had to make a decision for me and for my family to, get up out of there.
Okay, so that family that family oriented come from growing up, man. Like
Yeah,
you that support matters, man. You see how you use your family as support to be like, nah, I ain't gonna mess up my family name like that. Let me
right,
go ahead and move around.
right.
That's what's up, man. So how did Rambo 2 Funny come about, man?
So me and my granddad, man, that my granddad, that was my best friend. And so growing up, when I would go to his house, he would always be watching the Rambo movies, the Rambo movies and sports, baseball, football, or whatever. But Rambo was his thing, and he was in the Rambo movies. Rambo got like a colonel or a sergeant he reported to. He used to call himself that guy. He used to call me Rambo. And one day I got involved in a fight across the street from his house over a basketball game. And the guys, they jumped me. And they got the best of me. They beat me up. I didn't hit the ground though, And from he called me Rambo. Like you little Rambo, they can't mess with you. They can beat you up, they can do all this to you. They can't take you down. You're a one man army. A lot of people don't know. If you watch the Rambo movies, a lot of times he did his mission by himself. And he said he always told me that you don't need nobody. You do your stuff by yourself. You can stand firm on your own. And I always operate like that. And that's how the nickname Rambo
Oh, that's fire, man. I love that. Oh, that's a beautiful story. God dog.
came.
Look, man, you had a daddy, you had a grandfather. Like, look, it's truth in every joke. Cause I seen that behind the scenes video when
Yeah,
they pray at being show talking about you the only one that had a daddy. But
yeah.
See, look at that China. Roll
Uh,
up.
man, this thing keep freezing on me. Hold on.
Yeah, I seen that. I said you got split looking
I
like a
ain't never
China
been getting
woman.
hell today, okay?
Hello, hello.
God dang.
How you doing today?
No, but what I wanted to ask though is like what uh what change or difference do you see in the fact that you did have male influence as opposed to people that you hang around with like that you deem as valuable that you will pass on to your own son?
yeah. So, man, it was so pivotal. It was so pivotal. Because growing up, a lot of my friends were in the hood. They were, in the poverty-stricken areas, single mom type situation, and I would have to share my daddy a lot. My daddy would. He wasn't just my dad. He was my friend daddy too, because he was all they had. And it was pivotal to have just that structure and that presence. And I was like, now that I'm older, I realized him just being there. When somebody walk in the house and everybody just start cleaning up for no reason, or you hear a truck coming down the road and you just start doing stuff for no reason, that is so important. And it was pivotal for me because I always saw a man love a woman through everything, like through raising kids, through jobs, through struggle with finances, through vacations, through all that. I always saw my daddy kiss my mama before he left the house. I always saw my daddy protect my mama and the family. I learned how to shoot a gun. I learned gun. I'm gonna say I learned gun discipline at the age of 6 years old. How to operate a firearm. Um, I learned, the basis of survival. I'll never depend on nobody else but yourself to survive. You figure that part out. Now it's time. Well, if they not, if my family they ate, it ain't nothing left. I'm good. I'm figuring me out. Y'all, as long as y'all ate, and seeing my that's my dad, and seeing my granddad love my grandma in the later years in the 60s and 70s. Um, that was important because even though they argued a lot, I heard the love inside the argument. And
Mm,
so my granddad, he was kind of taking care of my grandma towards the end because she had dementia and Alzheimer's. But he ended up having a stroke and he passed before her because he old. He think he can do it, but he really couldn't handle all that. So he ended up passing before she did. 7 months later, my grandma passed away. So the message I got from that is everybody like, oh, well, it was a time when you were with somebody for 60 years, you can't live without them no more, right? Like you used to they you used to the simple stuff like him just getting up and going outside, peeling around in the yard. He used to my grandma, cutting up a banana and putting it in a cereal, and cussing her out about it. Like it's the small things like that that I saw in the religion. They kept listening to church. My grandma and granddad they'll argue in the choir stand, because my granddad he was like that everything had to be right. And no matter where they went, they love was the same. Whether it was a church, whether it was a family function, whether we on vacation, whether they just going to the grocery store, it was always consistent, you know. And a lot of people don't understand that it takes a really long time to get that consistency, because in the earlier years, it's kind of, once you settle in, you retired, you collecting that check, that just that flow. It just
Oh yeah, you gotta figure each other out.
yeah,
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 yeah.
and it took
In the beginning, you're trying to figure it out. Like
yeah,
yeah,
and time is the only one thing that can really get you
yep,
there. So
get you on
that's
the flow. Yeah,
when I say I want to be with somebody for long term forever. That's what I'm talking
yeah.
about. Not everybody think you go to the grave with you. That ain't what they mean. I just want to you know I want that in my later years. I don't want to be alone. And my
Mm-hmm.
grandma, she always put an emphasis on you need to have you a family. Go out here and live your whole life and ain't got no family. Like my uncle ain't got no family right now. He got an imaginary girlfriend. He done the same girlfriend for 10 years.
Imaginary girl.
Ain't nobody met her. Ain't nobody met her. It's been about 12 years. He been talking about this lady. She ain't showed up and nothing. He ain't been rolled around. We ain't seen no pictures or nothing. And
She ain't giving no medication. She ain't
nah,
doing nothing.
so I don't want to be in that situation. My grandma
Right
said, I always had you a family. And I didn't realize how important that was. So I got my own house and we start hosting holidays here.
now.
Christmas was here. Um, Mother's Day, Father's Day was here. That's how. If I didn't have no family, I'd be somewhere at somebody else's house.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was those things. Seeing that black man in those spaces is really what made me lock in.
I like that. I like that, man. That's my dog, man. Tell you, okay, look, I know, did you meet him for the first time? You got any question for him? Because I keep going.
You keep going. I don't. I'm just
I mean,
sitting
I
back
know you
listening
been meeting him for the first
right
time.
now.
You enjoy
Yeah.
it, you know what I'm saying? I know you be having your mind be working, nigga. You ask a million and one questions.
I'm just soaking it in right now. You just
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, well, look, so it's my podcast, so we're gonna start talking about me. Okay, so
yeah,
there's a conversation that we've had. We've had many conversations, and I honestly feel com- compelled, like spirit led, to feed into you because, like I said, I love what you're doing. I love to see black men
for
showing
sure.
love, doing their work, just standing up and being a freaking man. Okay, so
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if that has any effect or bearing on you, but I mean, any conversation that we had, like if you could just kind of expound on that, because I want to let people know, like, I choose to deal and work with felons, but the information that I have is universal. And I
yeah,
mean, I've implemented it in my own life and made great changes. And I mean, people like you receive it and put it into practice and seem to have some type of positive results from it.
yeah. So one key conversation, probably one of our most recent conversations. I was at a show and it was like in a I'm in like a warehouse type deal, like not no big show, just like a little thrown together show almost. And I'm walking out, and TNT put me to the side. She said, "Rambo, you gotta stop wasting your gift in these spaces." And I had to pause for a second. I said, "Well, what you mean?" She said, "Elevation requires separation." She said, "You got to show yourself in the right spaces because it's all about your brand." She said, "It's time to strengthen your brand." I'm like, "You know what? She right." So since then, I have, that was that was sparked me shooting my own and producing my own comedy special.
There we go. Toot your horn. Lay it out. You done something else too. Let the people know what you done
Yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It led to that, and then it led to me, shooting I'm currently just shot a movie with Trader Truth called Soul. So not only did it make me expand my stage presence, but it also made me expand into a different avenue. It was my one of my first movies I've been in, and it stretched me and it polished me. That conversation polished me to be able to co-host on the podcast. We just interviewed Lil Boosie 2 weeks ago, and that was an uncomfortable space for me hosting, like co-hosting a live audience podcast, because I'm just so used to it being me by myself on stage. So you got to know cadence, you got to know timing, and what this person finna say, and they gonna say, and then letting stuff breathe, and you know, um, more working parts involved and co-hosting a live audience podcast versus just me walking up on stage and making people laugh. I was uncomfortable on the movie set. I'm out there, 12, 13 hours. They reshooting my scene over and over. I'm used to going on stage, telling my jokes 30 minutes and going home. So me being out there, wardrobe changes, all that stuff, it just made me uncomfortable, which is what I needed. And the last thing, the conversation that me and TNT had was that motivated me to not make excuses for myself. I would, oh man, I got two kids, I got a job, I gotta work, I gotta be home with my family or whatever. But it's a certain level of sacrifice you have to have because you almost disservice your family by not going to chase your dream, by not going to pursue that passion. If I keep working this job, I'm limited to what I can do for my family. The job never gonna pay me what my talents are truly worth.
Come on now.
Yeah. So they built the business, it's their stuff. I'm just chill. I'm just a vessel. And
Yeah.
so um, that conversation that night, it was a 180 for me. It turned everything around because I was just, and TNT, she picked up on it. She can kind of see I was just doing little stuff here and there, trying to keep sharpening the saw, trying to stay tight or
Mhm.
whatever, playing with it basically. And that conversation, the only thing she had to tell me was, you gotta stop wasting your gift in these spaces. Man,
Hey,
you never know how they gonna hit you, but when they do, man,
and for you to just take those few sentences, a few words, and turn it into all that you've done, man, that just goes to show, man, how much you out here dimming your light. Like you took some phrases and made it into three opportunities.
yeah,
Like I'm just so thankful for that. And I mean, you coachable.
yeah,
Like, and
That's a
you
good
you
thing.
you you receive information well, and I see nothing but great things for you. I ain't prophesying, I'm just saying you doing the work. Like,
yeah,
like,
Point that
so,
out.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she man, like in TNT, man, it's a different level of respect. Everybody, all the comedians know, all the artists know, don't play with TNT. Don't play with her time. Don't play with her money. You know, like don't play with her. And like she say, coachable because she's around a lot of the entertainment and she sees a lot of the egos that fly around and pride that flies around. And I'm normally the guy that's more open minded, and I'm gonna hear you out before I say, nah, I got it. I don't need them, man. What you talking about? I've been doing this. I got it. I'm doing it on my own. I know that. I know how to tell joke. I got this. A lot of cats be on like I got it figured out. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't have it figured out yet. So I'm open to receive all that. And,
Well,
TNT.
I have a question concerning what you just stated right now. Knowing that your people, your dad taught you how to be very independent and self sufficient, how were you able to remain humble in situations like that to be open and receptive to somebody bringing to you, knowing that you grew up with that type of mentality?
So a real specific situation. It's gonna sound real simple, but hear me out. I met with my granddaddy, and we went to the bootlegger house in the country. They sell lookout the house, and so go to the bootlegger house, and I'm a little boy at the time, maybe 19 years old. Of course, ain't nothing enough for me to drink, you know. So the bootlegger, he came in the house. It was remember being dark. It had a funny smell, and he came to me. He said, "Young man, you want some? You want a soda? You want something to drink?" He slid a soda across the table to me. I said, "No, thank you, no sir." My granddad kind of had this grimace on his face. He said, "Oh, okay, all right, okay, yeah, you all right? Do whatever you need. Make yourself at home. You good?" On the way home, my granddad he cut the music down. He said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "If somebody offer you something, you receive it. Even if you don't want it, you get in your car, get down the road, throw it out the window. But when you in somebody else's house, You in somebody else's space and they offer you something, you take it. He said it is because it shows a sign, like you say, of modesty and humbleness. I'm not too good not to receive this from you. Even though your house smell a little funny, smell dirty. I didn't want to drink or eat nothing over there.
Right, in your glass probably dirty.
Yeah, I'm like,
I do that at work. What are you talking about? What? Give me a plastic
yeah.
cup. Give me a
And
go cup. You got to go
so,
cup.
like that dirty, so like you said, it was dirty, bro. It was like little leaves on the top of the can and everything.
Yeah.
So it was that situation from then on. I always somebody offered me something, I always take it. I always take it, even if I don't want it. And it and that translated into me not the physical and concrete things, but also in the abstract of receiving information, knowledge, advice, motivation. Because you can block that as well. So it translated right into that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I was gonna say that. Like that concept, yeah, he was talking about the soda, but you've applied that to life.
Right
And
to life,
man,
generally.
right. And that's
Yeah.
critical thinking. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
critical. Right. Big facts.
Yeah.
Big facts. I like that. That one interpretation that did end up being applied in one area.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I like that.
Absolutely, man. But yeah, so look, you got somebody in your family that's recently what dealing with prison probation or parole?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They got together?
Uh, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to reach out.
Well, look, I don't want you to be crossing boundaries if you're the next to box. I don't know.
Nah, man. It's crazy you say that because I've been writing about a lot of my. That's something I never really tapped into is that my family and close friends that are incarcerated currently, and how to translate that into you know comedy because a lot of people think it would be easy. Oh man, somebody your homeboy locked up or whatever, man, you should be easy to write. It's not easy to write on that because I miss my family. I miss my friends, and so it took me a little while to get to that point. And I ain't gonna lie, like I'm sensitive, I'm emotional, so a lot of stuff like about my family, it's probably I could blow up tomorrow, but the way I'm attached to it emotionally is kind of like it's gonna take me a little while, take me a little longer to get there. Some of my friends, my boy, he called me from prison about maybe 2, 3 months ago, and he called me and he set his phone up. I don't know, he was in prison, but he wasn't like in the cell. He was somewhere else, around on the yard somewhere where they got like a little mechanic shop or something. He learning a trade.
Mm.
He working on a motorcycle. Nah. Boy, I got me a Harley in behind that wall, boy. First one with a motorcycle behind that wall, boy. Hey, tell her come with all the zuzus and wham.
The zuzus and well, the snack cakes. Yeah, the snack cakes.
Well, yeah. He danced with him. Hey, motorcycle ain't got no wheels on it. I said, nah, they gonna ride it. Me too. To the people at home, cause he got like 75 Facebook pages. I just stopped dealing with them. I said, nah, I'm not adding not no more. I'm not doing that no more. Okay, how many times you flip the words in your name around so they not try to know who you is? When you go live on these people's stuff, doing drugs and making alcohol in these people establishment, and don't think that they ain't gonna catch on to it. Come on now. Yeah. They ain't hating on man, they hating on me, cuz. Yeah, come in and get more money than the guard. I'm getting more money than the guard, cuz.
You can't spend it nowhere but commissary.
I'm getting more money than the sergeant. I'm getting more money than.
Oh man, that's crazy.
He call me all the time like, yeah, cuz you see, it be noodles, Slim Jims, honey buns.
Right. His stacks.
Yeah, shooting dice, snacks.
Yeah. Well, you said that was like a couple of months ago, so it's like, is it tough? having friends locked up as far as like trying to provide like enlightenment? Like, I mean, we joking about the
Yeah.
energy and attitude that he had, but that's what got him in there, and it ain't gonna help him if you want to stay out.
Right.
Right.
So it's tough. The toughest ones are those who I know got locked up and those I know who did it. Them the ones that's really like, bro, you really did that, bro. Like I got a guy I played football with in high school. He's currently incarcerated for rape. And you know how like you kind of grow up with somebody, you be around their mama, and when they say you never truly know a person, that's so true because I thought I knew this guy. He never do nothing like that. And so the first allegations came out, of course, all the black people, oh man, they trying to get him, they lying. He did that. That boy Ray good. He got good people. His parents did right by him. He ain't got that in him. He ain't gonna rape nobody. Boom, boom, boom. Second allegation coming out, and they confirmed DNA. We like, wait a minute now. Oh, you really did that, boy? They got you on camera raping a white girl in the back alley, bro. You'll be the one that would tough it, cause like, bro, I was around you, we was cool, you know what I'm saying? And I had to block him on all social media because he would still reach out, ask for a cash out, asking him like, bro, like them the tough ones, them the ones that had you confused, like, bro, you really did that, bro. Like I got the guy that called me or whatever, he was an accessory to something that happened. He was just, in the car or whatever. It's a little easy to talk to him because I know he was, the situation, wrong place, wrong time. He shouldn't have been in the car. I know he ain't really like no real street dude, no gangster, none of that.
Yeah, I know all about that, don't they?
Yeah, no, yeah, like,
Look,
bro,
look,
like,
that's my co-defendant right there. Nigga ain't lying.
yeah.
We on each other's paperwork.
Big facts.
Hey, that's hilarious.
Life experience right there. Yeah.
That's that. Hey, that's funny, man. Because like, you know how you got, like I said, like me, I was square, so they would still be riding with me and stuff because I had a Honda. It was low key. They used to use my car all the time to do wild stuff. I wouldn't be in there with them, but just happened to be in there this one time. And in Milledgeville, they do what they call roadblocks because it's a small town. So the police are set up and stop signs 4 ways. And they stop every car that comes through and check IDs. Yeah, they do that. So when I got to Houston and found out they didn't do that, I've been flying around Houston. Hey, man, I found out they ain't do roadblocks out here. Man, I've been riding dirty. You hear me?
Big for that.
Yeah, so,
right. It's too big. We'll catch it in the long run. Don't worry about it.
So yeah, so I had one guy ride with me, pull up to a roadblock. I had like my ex, I had like her little brothers and stuff in the back seats, like 5 of them. Mind you, we're in a Honda Civic, cool. And so nobody back there got seatbelts on. And so the guy that's riding with me, he hop out and take off running, take off, gone in front of the police. Leave me there with these unseatbelted babies.
Damn.
And the police, they want some answers. Who was that jumped out your car? Where he going? And it was immediately at that point, I was just like, dang, like that no snitching stuff kind of tough. You know what I'm saying? Like that's hard, because they was putting pressure on me. Hey, tell me who he is, or we're gonna give you a seatbelt for every baby back there in that seat without a seatbelt. Damn, that's like 6 tickets. Hey, so okay, I gotta tell y'all your whole name, or just like the
or a nickname that I know about.
But I finessed it. I'm like, man, I don't know, dog. Then the reason they back there is because I was taking them from one apartment to another one. I don't know him. I picked him up up the street at the gas. They say he needed to ride over here to these apartments. So that's what, man, I don't know him, man. And they end up letting me go because the line started getting long and the roadblock, So they
Boy, now shit to do. I tell.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. They be waiting on you to go crash out because they gonna hide you.
Yeah,
You know how they be waiting on you to crash out. If they doing stuff like that, man, they be waiting on you. So he he's still in and out of prison or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, it just like still just wish they would have made better decisions.
Gotcha. Well, sure. While we on that note, man, you got any advice for anybody that may be in that struggle, but want to get their life on the right foot and overcome that? You got some words of wisdom. You got something that you carry with that you want to impart as a knowledge as yeah.
Yeah. I'ma just say, given the current time that we in, pause before you react. You know, pause before you react. Take a moment. Just stop. Stop everything, and only focus on whatever decision it is you're thinking about making. How it's going to not only impact you, but those around you, those that actually support you and care for you. Um, how is it going to impact? How is it going to impact your future? You know, um, I was in I was in Detroit, Michigan, on the east side, and I'm doing a show in one of the places TNT told me to stay out of, telling jokes, and and it ended up being it was a good show, and get off stage, the guy come up to me, he said, "Man, I was just stopping by here to get me a drink before I went and killed myself." He said, "But seeing y'all perform," he said, "Man, that y'all turned around, man. Y'all made me want to live, man. The way I laughed tonight, the way y'all made me laugh tonight, man. I just want to keep living, man. Y'all made me realize it's more to life, being happy." So what he did was he paused. He didn't know that he was pausing to come to the comedy show. He paused to give himself something to drink or whatever.
That's
So my advice would be to, just stop, take a moment, buy yourself some time and really think about the decisions you're about to make and how it's going to impact you.
oh, that's good, man. That's solid. What you think about that, T?
I think that's good. That's real good because
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that processing.
Well,
I think
yeah,
that's real
man. I
good.
want to respect your time. You a family man. I appreciate you hopping on, man. You got any questions or comments for me?
Man, TNT, I'm proud of you for doing this. I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on this. This is what I've been waiting on. I can't wait till it grow exponentially. That's Ti word. I can't wait till it grow exponentially and really touch the masses, because this is what the world need right now. You know? And everybody talk about outreach. I'm doing outreach for the kids. No, you ain't. You just trying not. You just trying to not to go back in there. So you gonna put this little paper on paper. See, I've been helping the kids. You been take me to jail, officer. Look, I've been helping the kids over there. So, it's just like you really doing something that's gonna have a real positive reaction versus just checking the box and pencil it. So proud of you for that.
Man, I appreciate that, man. All words of encouragement are welcomed here. Okay,
Yeah,
this is not a job for the week. Okay, you hear me?
Right
yeah.
on.
But all right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, man.
Nice meeting
Look,
you,
man,
brother.
if y'all need some t-shirts to promote that new movie or anything, holla at TNT. I got y'all.
I got you. I'm gonna call Trey right now. Say I got another shirt, man. Let's go. All
That's
right,
what's
have a
up.
good night.
All right.
All right, you too.
All
That was nice.
right, man. So look, I had
Rambo.
one of my comedy guys pull up. He made it. That was eventful. That was a very interesting story. I learned a lot about
It
him that I didn't know.
was. Yeah, that was interesting. You know what he remind me of? He remind me of Mike Epps. Another
Mm.
funny guy, unsuccessful thug. Hey, the
Oh
book
yeah,
is hilarious.
that he
Man, this
did
sound just
say
like
that.
this dude, man.
He
The
did.
unsuccessful thug, man.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. But
Yeah.
just the experience of real live person that come from that,
Mhm.
man, that's good. That was
Nah.
real good.
Yeah. Nah. He's a very dope guy, man. Very funny guy. And yeah, man. That's all I had. Just something to keep us going, shaking it
Yeah,
up a little bit.
I like
Uh,
that. Like the
Cause
freestyle.
yeah, I ain't really had too much.
It's all right. We've been freestyling all our life. I still
Hey,
got a
come on,
karaoke machine.
already. Cause we for the start. We can take outside. He's a
Ain't no
catch.
stop now. Yeah, we've been.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's good. You got any like just closing remarks, like for the week, every day. To be honest, like we're on a journey. I call it fell into phenomenon. And I call it a journey for a reason because society as a whole really won't let you forget. You have to grab a hold of it and not let it affect you because again, society won't let you forget. And it's about taking control of your life, owning your mistakes and moving forward. So, just like you got any remarks about where you are, or how this week is going, or just the space that you in. Like, 'cause, I mean, you technically still in it. You ain't even got your
No,
last paperworks. You know what I'm saying? You
exactly.
still ain't experienced that last piece of freedom. Like, even though you still gonna have the stigma and have to work through that, it's like the last piece of freedom when there's no more paperwork. It's no more reporting. It's no more. I'm obligated to do X, Y, and Z. This is no longer on my calendar or schedule to report or talk to X, Y, and Z.
Well, looking back from your perspective, as far as like what you're dealing with, and other people that I've seen that become successful, such as Rambo, Too Funny, right now, I haven't even began really, to be honest with you. This is why I think I'm really in that surface where I'm starting to get to that process because after this, now we have another session or another part of the journey that I'm gonna actually have to deal with that is outside of the hand-on-hand contact that I have to deal with them. It's just like you said, the title and everything. And once you're free from that type of obligation, you'll think that you'll no longer have to deal with it. Well, then it's not true. So it's like something that you gotta continue holding on. But what I would like to lead with the people is some things when I was in there, it's some of the realistic statements that we make that people allow it to hinder them. They don't care about you. Okay. Um if they don't care about you, then you got to care enough about yourself in order to do what you got to do, in order to not put yourself in a position where somebody has control over that don't care about you. And that it implements the boundaries. It's understanding that the type of relationship, the prisoner to inmate, well, the guard to prisoner or the system to prisoner relationship that you're sharing that is toxic. And by you continuing to put yourself in that position causes you to put yourself in a position of being around somebody that doesn't care about you. So clearly you're not caring enough about yourself. So it's kind of just like that change of mindset. Is like these realistic things, uh they use us to make money, then sell us the stuff, and it's number think of us as a number or a ticket. Well, that's the way the world is anyway, because you're working out here for free with these people, but out here you're gonna work for someone else. And I'm sorry to tell you, all they care about is their business and their money and their ticket, and you ain't number the number there too. Sorry, you were actually introduced to this by getting. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that, but you've been introduced to this that this is a process that you are nothing but to invest in somebody else's gain. So in that sense, you still, again, you got to care enough about yourself. At the same time, is care enough about yourself to the things that you see that is realistic to make you feel like you're not getting what you want and what you're worth and what you value. To find those things to make positive and productive ways to get that worth and value for yourself and not depend on someone else and thinking that there's their responsibility. It's not. It's yours. Just do it. Like Nike. So
And with that, that's what we're gonna end with, ladies and gentlemen. Be productive, be impactful, and think critically. I forgot how I was gonna end that, but look, it's all good.
it's
Use
all
your
good.
mind. Okay, it was use your mind. Look, I'm gonna work it out. Y'all don't worry about it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace out. Get out of here.